Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Fine Mama Blue, Callie's fine ass mom, and this here is Callie, the whole reason for this channel and this video that we are about to do today. So as everybody knows, 2020 has been very different. With this whole coronavirus. Corona been really showing her behind, okay? And she's been doing the most, you know, having us on lockdown at one point. You know, we have to wear a mask everywhere we go. All right, so I had to put Callie down for a nap before I got to finish recording this video. So let's go ahead and get into this story because I don't want this video to be too long. When I was pregnant with Callie, I had gestational diabetes and severe anemia, so that made me considered high risk. So towards the end of my pregnancy, I was going to, you know, most pregnant women go at the end like once every week. I was having to go 3 times a week because I was having to do monitoring twice a week and then seeing my OBGYN as well because they had to monitor the baby and do some extra checking in on her with the gestational diabetes and the high-risk pregnancy. So at the end, I was having to go to my monitoring appointments. That doctor's office allowed 1 healthy adult, so there was always someone able to go there with me, and it would always be my mom or my grandma just to make sure, you know, everything was good with me so they can know what's going on. Around this time, I was scheduled to be induced to have Callie at 38 weeks because of the gestational diabetes. It just posed some risk of her possibly being too big, so the doctor wanted to go ahead as standard procedure here in Las Vegas where we live and take her out early. So I was scheduled to be induced April the 1st at 1 o'clock in the morning. So when we got to the hospital, there was literally 1 entrance, and that was the emergency entrance, and you could only get in or out that way. At this time, because the hospitals were locked down as well as our state was on lockdown, for me to give birth to Callie, there was only allowed 1 person in the hospital, and that 1 person would have to be checked in with us and would have to stay that entire time. They could not leave. There was no alternating with anyone else. So my support person ended up being my mother. The reason why it was my mom is because Callie's father, he does not live in the same state as us, and his state was on lockdown as well when she was born, so he wasn't able to be there. So who better than my mother to be there for the birth of my daughter, her first grandchild. So my mom was my support person. So when we got to the hospital, they took our temperature at the door. They asked us a bunch of this screening questions. You know, are you experiencing any symptoms? Have you been around anybody that has had COVID-19? Have you traveled out of the country or traveled within the last 14 days? They asked us the screening questions. Once that was all good to go, we went ahead and went upstairs to the maternity ward. I gave birth to Callie at Summerlin Hospital. They call their maternity ward the birthplace, so I gave birth at the birthplace at Summerlin Hospital. So we checked in for my induction was at 1 a.m. April the 1st. We got there at like 12:45. So by the time we got up there, they checked us in. They gave us new masks from the masks that we already had on and let us know that we were going to have to wear our masks the entire time that we were there. So 1 nurse came, got us, took us to the room. She had informed us you won't be able to leave this room and do any walking around like you normally would be able to, because we just have to make sure that it is safe. We have had moms who have said that they have possibly had symptoms or have been around people with the symptoms. So for everyone's safety, we just want to make sure that everybody is tied into one room. You have your mask on the entire time, and that's just what it's going to be from here. So once we got in the room, they got me in my hospital gown very quickly. They got the IV going very quickly, and I believe they started with the Cytotec. I don't know if it was the Cytotec or the Cervidil. If there is anybody who knows exactly which is which, one is 12 hours, one is 4 hours. They started with the 12-hour one first. Mind you, all of my appointments before my induction, they're literally, I was not dilated at all. Like, there was no dilation whatsoever, and I was like, oh, I hope and pray that by the time I started trying to like walk and stuff, but apparently it didn't work, and I'm going to tell you why. So they checked my cervix before putting the 12-hour cervix softener inside. And mind you, when they checked my cervix, it was very painful. And it was painful because I was barely at 1 centimeter dilated when I got to the hospital. So they did the 12-hour. Mind you, the first 12 hours, there was no eating, no nothing like that. They brought me ice chips because of my anemia. That was great, having the ice constantly being brought in the room. They would like bring my mom like coffee and, you know, things for her, but you know, I couldn't eat, obviously. So after 12 hours, the nurse comes back in the room and she checked my cervix again. I had a feeling it wasn't going to be any good news, but I was hoping that it was. But because of it hurting the way it was still when she checked the cervix this time, I wasn't really expecting the greatest of news. So she checked, she's like, we're still at 1 centimeter. There has not been any type of change whatsoever. So what we're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to do another 12-hour. Once again, I don't know if it was the Cytotec or the Cervidil. If you do know, please comment down below and let me know which one it was. The names I have, you know, don't have that great of memory at this moment with that whole situation. But anyway, so another 12 hours went by and she came back in again. This time nurses had changed shifts. There was a new doctor on call, so they checked me again. At this point, it's been 24 hours, and after the first round of the 12-hour cervix softener, I started having contractions. My contractions didn't really bother me because I have a high pain tolerance. Like, I like shots. That's how good of a pain tolerance I have. So the contractions didn't really feel like, oh, they're contractions, they're hurting to me. They more so just felt like, okay, it's just like a little cramping, whatever. It's nothing that I can't handle. But my contractions were off the charts, as if I was in active labor, even though I was not dilated past the 1. So we did the other 12 hours. She came back in, she checked again. At this point, she said, you know, it has softened up a little bit, but you're still only at 1 centimeter. Let me go talk to the doctor on call and see what they want to do. So the doctor came inside, and the doctor was like, hey, how are you feeling? I clearly let the doctor know. For one, I have anxiety. So right now, I'm anxious because I already had anxiety and was ready to meet my daughter while being pregnant. So the fact that I was able to be induced earlier, you know, I'm ready to like meet my daughter. But it's kind of, I told the doctor, like, I'm getting frustrated because it just seems like my body is not doing what it's supposed to do at this point. We've been here for 24 hours and some change. I'm getting very frustrated at this point. So the doctor was like, well, I'm like, can you strip my cervix? Is there anything else that we can do? The doctor was like, I wouldn't recommend doing that. But she said, what we can do is, how about we give you a break? We'll allow you to eat. We'll give you a break, allow you to eat, and we'll try the 4-hour. I believe the 4-hour is the Cervidil. So they're like, we'll try the 4-hour after you eat, take a shower, we'll try again. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm surprised they're gonna let me eat, but I'll take it. So I had ordered me some, they gave me a menu. I ordered chicken tenders with the fries. I ain't gonna lie, the chicken tenders and fries in the hospital was pretty bomb. So Summerlin, the birthplace at Summerlin Hospital, Las Vegas, yeah, y'all did y'all thing with that, because y'all know that's what I ordered most of the time. Y'all let me eat while I was in the hospital. But moving on. So I ate, I showered, they came back in, they put the 4-hour in. At this point, I'm like, okay, it's 4 hours. I'm praying, my family's praying. My mom can tell that I'm really on edge and I'm really frustrated. My mom, you know, we kind of were talking, and she's like, hey, you know, if it doesn't work this time, are you going to keep letting them try? Or, you know, are you going to ask if you can have a C-section? Mind you, my mom had gestational diabetes with all 3 of her daughters. So she knows what it is to have C-sections, because that's all she's ever had, because she's had the same issues. So, you know, we kind of talked about, and I was like, I really just want to meet my daughter at this point. So if this doesn't work, as much as I'm going to be let down because I couldn't follow through with my 100% no epidural natural birth plan at this point, my contractions were still skyrocketing off the chart, but I did not ask for any type of supplement for that. So I ate, showered, 4 hours went by. The nurse came in again. I'm like, Lord, please let there be something happening. So the nurse checked and she lets me know you were at 1 centimeter with a wiggle. At this point, I was done. I said, get the doctor in here. I need to talk to the doctor. I'm frustrated. I'm tired. At this point, I was crying because my nerves was bad. I felt like my body was letting me down. I was just really upset. So I'm like, let me see the doctor. So the doctor comes in. I let the doctor's like, hey, Kayla, straight up, what do you want to do? I told the doctor, I said, Doc, let's cut this baby out. Go ahead and schedule me for the C-section as soon as you can get it. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I'm ready to meet my baby. I cannot do it anymore. I'm ready. It's been 40 hours at this point. I've been in labor for 40 hours at this point. My contractions are through the roof, but I'm not dilating. Cut my baby out, please, and thank you. So she, there were 2 people before me. She said, we'll get you scheduled to go have your C-section as soon as we can get you to have it. So, long story short, the nurse comes back in, gets me prepped and ready, brings my mom all of the stuff that she needed to put on over her clothes. And my mom and me got ready. They took us into the room where I was going to be having my C-section. I went in first. They made my mom wait outside while they got me set up on the monitors in there. They got my IV going in there. They did the spinal tap. For me, the spinal tap experience, your girl's a G. Pain tolerance, perfectly fine. So April the 2nd, 2020, 7 p.m. I gave birth to a 5 pound, 7 ounce. Mind you, I had gestational diabetes. The whole point in inducing me was because they were concerned about her weight. So for them to be concerned about her weight and me to give birth to a 5 pound, 7 ounce baby girl was way beyond me, okay? My daughter was born very, very tiny, very little. And her name, Callie Mackenzie Blue. She has the same last name as me, but that's neither here nor there. We'll get to that for another story time. If you would like the story time about how my daughter ended up with my last name and not her father's, please comment down below and I will definitely do that. But yeah, so had birth, gave birth to her. They took us to the recovery maternity ward. The baby, there was no going to the NICU because of the pandemic. Callie was in the room with me and my mom the entire time. We checked in on a Wednesday. We were discharged Saturday. By the time the evening came around, like, you know, 5-ish. So from Wednesday, April the 1st until that Saturday was just how long we were there. We had to do a as long as I passed my first bowel movement, as long as I was able to get in and out of the bed by myself and was able to walk a lap around, as long as Callie passed her car seat stimulation test because of the fact that she was born under 6 pounds, and as long as everything was good to go with her and the doctor gave us the orders, her pediatrician gave us the orders, we were able to go. So literally giving birth in a pandemic, I guess the major things that would be different, mind you, Callie's my first child, but from just what I know, the main differences of giving birth to a baby during a pandemic, for one, we had to wear masks the entire time. There was no extra people allowed to come to the hospital. There was one support person allowed. That person had to stay the entire time. And yeah, so, you know, it was very different and very interesting. Very interesting and very different. But she's here, and it'll be a cool little story to let Callie know when she gets older, just about how she was born during the pandemic in such a weird and crazy time where the world was on lockdown and people had to wear masks everywhere. And yeah, so that was my birth story, giving birth during the pandemic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please comment down below and let me know that you liked it. If you have any questions or if there's any other videos that you want to suggest that we do, please let us know, because we will do that. But make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe for our channel so you can keep updated. So once again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you can keep up with us. Let us know in the comment section if you guys have any other ideas on the videos. The next video I plan on doing is a get to know Callie and Kayla tag, so you guys can get to know us. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed our channel. Once again, I am Fine Mama Blue, Callie's fine ass mom, and this is Callie Mackenzie Blue. Say bye, Callie. See you in the next video, guys.